Welcome back as it's mock draft season, and I've come to bring to you my own mock draft. And I'm actually doing this one in real time. I'm allowing trades, and we're doing the current NFL draft order. So if you got a problem with the draft order, tell your team to quit sucking. What can I say? But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm currently pushing out my prospect rankings for the mid-season points, so check those out. Currently got defensive tackles and quarterbacks out, and then we'll come back again tomorrow with a new one. But yeah, we're doing the watch along for UCLA Oregon. That's going to be a banger. I think that's our first Pac-12 game of the year that we're doing a watch along for, and thus far, you know, we've watched pretty good games, really. So it's been fun. But let's go ahead and get into this. I don't want to take up too much time because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into spots where I'm taking a hot minute to think. So Carolina Panthers, no brainer, CJ Stroud. Let's move on to the next. Again, with the whole Stroud Bryce Young thing, I prefer Bryce Young, but there are real, again, size is going to be a concern for some teams. Probably a lot of teams, and there's going to be concerns about with the longevity, and then he had the shoulder joint injury earlier this year. I'm not too concerned with that, but I get that Stroud at least provides you a bit of clearance and safety there. Now, this is where I want to get crazy. Derek Carr, your time is up. We need to move on. You know what? Josh McDaniels, he ain't feeling good. I say that the Vegas Raiders, they trade Derek Carr, because I still think you could get a first rounder back for him. To who? I don't know. I don't know specifically. I think Washington could be an interesting spot because they could cut Carson Wentz after this season. Maybe they bring in a new regime. They bring Derek Carr on board for the quarterback moving forward, or at least at the very least it buys time while maybe they develop Sam Howell, or maybe they bring in someone else to develop in the later rounds. I don't know, but I want to do Bryce Young because I feel like it causes a lot of craziness to happen in this draft. All right, so with the Detroit Lions, typically I would like to go quarterback for the Lions. Right now at this point, I'm not feeling great about it. I don't feel great about that pick at 21, taking a quarterback, depending on who falls. So maybe that might be a trade-up opportunity for them there. Right now, let's just go ahead, take the best prospect on the board, being Will Anderson. You can make a case for Jalen Carter here. I mean, both are fabulous prospects. Let's scoot back here. That way you see who's been taken. Houston Texans, kind of in the same boat right now at this point, where maybe at pick 6 we're starting to think about quarterback. We know we want to go quarterback, but we know Philly probably won't go quarterback here either. So I feel like we're safe to take the best prospect on the board, being Jalen Carter here if we're the Houston Texans. And then at 6 we'll kind of evaluate what we can do with that pick. Yeah. So on to the Philadelphia Eagles. You got the best corner on the board right here, right? Myles Murphy actually is a thought and consideration. Holy cow. I think both are very close when it comes to where I have them ranked on my big board. It depends on, I want to say the bigger need would be corner. Depending on Slay's getting up there in years, do you bring back James Bradbury? I mean, you do, but can you bring back James Bradbury is a question. When's our next pick? Oh, man. Oh, this is the Eagles pick, so it's going to be at the end. Do I feel good? I feel better taking an edge at the back end of that round because there's going to be a lot of edges available. There really is. So maybe I just take the best corner here. So we're going to do that for the Eagles. Now we're back at this Houston Texans pick. And, man, it's tough slating. Can you trade out of this pick? Who would want to trade up at this point? Because it would probably be, honestly, for quarterback or probably Myles Murphy. But who wants to move up for Myles Murphy? I don't know. I don't think anyone would want to move up. There's no incentive for me to want to move up here. So I guess we could just have to go ahead and send it, take the next quarterback. Yeah. And for me, it would be DJ Uiagalelei. I feel like I'm the only one that really likes him as a prospect. It really feels that way. It really, really does. I guess for a majority of people, this would be the Will Levis pick. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not that high on Will Levis, or at least not top 10 high on Will Levis. And yeah, let's go ahead take my boy DJ Uiagalelei. I'm a big fan. I think we're gonna be talking about him by the end of the year. Really do. All right, Seattle Seahawks. Now I do want to get a quarterback. I'm not gonna lie. You could listen, I get it. Geno Smith's looking good this year. Looks very different from the prior 10 seasons he's been in the league. I think you could bring him back. I don't get these people that say put him on the franchise tag. You ain't paying Geno Smith $32 million. That's currently what's projected the franchise tag would be for quarterback. You could probably bring him back on like a 1 year $15 million, or shoot, you could give him 3 years 40. Like look at like the Mike Lennon. What Chicago did with Mike Lennon, they gave him 3 years $45 million, but they had an out after the first year. So maybe do that with Geno Smith. I think that makes sense. But I'm feeling good about not taking a quarterback with this pick. Maybe we'll evaluate it at pick 14. Oh man, why am I so far down? So I just want to take the best prospect on the board, and that's Miles Murphy. That's an easy one. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers. No trades as of yet. I'm still thinking that Washington pick's going to be a Las Vegas pick. I'm going to say Derek Carr goes to Washington. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have your pick of, you could do corner, we could do offensive line. So we could get the first offensive lineman off the board here. But then again, I mean, with offensive linemen, typically take them a year or two. You don't really know if you got a really good player until like the back end of their first year or even early in the second, which is fine. I mean, we could do Paris Johnson here. He's a guy I like taking for Pittsburgh. Man, this is tough. Like, I guess Broderick Jones actually might be the better option. Really might. Broderick Jones, like, because he's coming from a run-heavy scheme. You want to get the run going, get a guy that can play the run well, but he gives you high-end upside as a tackle, like as a pass protector as well. So I think I just talked myself into that. I think we're gonna go Broderick Jones. I think he's just a better fit. All right, so I'm gonna go right here. Arizona Cardinals. This is a new regime, baby. This is a new regime. I can't imagine the Cardinals sticking with really anybody. Like I imagine they're blowing this up and they're getting a new coaching staff in tow. Brian Brazier's also an interesting pick, but I know corner's a bit more of a need here. Who's trading up for quarterback at this point? Because I mean, that's the trade up. Someone really likes a quarterback in this class. The trade up is quarterback. Because we talked about Detroit, maybe wanting to get back into it. The Seahawks, I'm kind of settled. I'm gonna settle at 14. Like literally, if anyone wants a quarterback, they're gonna have to jump 14. Because I'm dead set on that. Detroit would have to jump from 21. Indianapolis would have to jump from 22. And the Giants might be just in a scenario. Yeah, I don't think I'm trading this pick if I'm the Cardinals. I'm just going to go ahead and select here. And I guess I'm going to go with Joey Porter. All right, you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of different areas we can go with this pick. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, I feel like moving down with this pick. I really do. I really do. Because if a team's got to move up, it's for a quarterback. If a team moves up, it's for a quarterback. It's a team wanting to probably jump Seattle, because I've already made my case known. So I guess we're talking Lions, we're talking Colts here. Now this would be a similar jump as to when the Bears moved up for Justin Fields, correct? Here we go. Let's look at what that looked exactly. No, just show me what the trade was. All right. No, that ain't it. All right. So the specifics of the trade here. Oh my God, trade here was the Bears traded a first, a fifth, a first next year, and a fourth next year. All right. So we're moving up to move ahead. But honestly, if I'm the Jags, I'm trying to move out of there. So maybe you could get it for a little cheaper. All right, let's experiment with some trade possibilities here. All right. Let's say I'm the Jags doing this trade. And Detroit. So we're doing this. Probably, and I'm going to throw that in there. Let's throw in that fourth this year. Too much for the Lions. Okay. That's interesting. So let's reset that. Okay. So via this trade simulator, we could probably get by with, for the Lions, doing it with less. And I mean, to be fair, I am the Jags trying to seek out this trade down desperately. So let's try this. Let's try to take a third from them. And let's do that fourth next year. Ooh. All right, so if I'm the Jags, I'm getting a third. I'm getting a fifth as well. I don't feel good about that. From Detroit. I mean, it feels so convoluted. All right, let's save this. Okay, let's throw in that fourth. Then if we're the... Well, apparently it's more so on the Lions side. If I do this, then it's too much. Alright, well, let's send it. This is the Detroit Lions now. We're moving up for quarterback. I mean, both Will Levis and Tanner McKee come from a very pro-style offense. And honestly, Tanner McKee's been the better. You know what? This ain't even thinking. Tanner McKee's been the better decision maker. I'm going Tanner McKee. That's it for me. All right, Chicago Bears. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This feels like a trade down spot for me as well. Just to grab more draft value. That's something the Bears don't do well. Who does this set the alarm for? Who wants to move up and for what? That's the thing, man. I don't think anyone's wanting to move up. This is like Brian Brazee, honestly, this is a defensive-minded coach, man. So maybe the Bears in free agency with all that money they go ahead and take care of some of Justin Fields' needs. Let's take a look at 2023 NFL free agency. I want to take a look at this from wide receiver. Austin Aguilar, Sterling Shepard, CJ Chark, Marvin Jones. Oh man, these aren't great names. Juju, Landry. I don't see that big splash wide receiver. I really don't. I really don't see that big splash wide receiver. Nobody hit a free agency. This can't be right. Shucks. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Feels like I have to take a receiver here then, huh? Here, I'm right now looking at a list of the top free agents available. Good offensive line talent if they want to address the offensive line. So I assume that's something they would want to do with the offensive line regardless. But yeah, not seeing the receivers. Not seeing receivers. So I guess this pick has to be a receiver for us. So we're just going to go ahead and take the best receiver. Wow, man. I guess Mecole Hardman. Oh, man. Oh, wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver free agency. Yeah, we have to address it here. I guess not trade. We don't have to trade back either. All right. So the question is, who? Just taking a quick look at what's available, but my mind's pretty set on going with Quentin Johnston because he's just different from what they currently have on the roster. I think he's got that X wide receiver size. Jordan Addison, I just don't want to add more small receivers. I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing. I mean, we're going to be flying out there. Be able to create after the catch. But I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston. I feel like that's the right answer. All right, Washington. Can I make this Las Vegas's pick? No, there's this nasty glitch on the Draft Network that doesn't allow you to do, or I say the Draft Network, the NFL mock draft simulator doesn't allow other trades to go through. So maybe I pretend like this is Las Vegas's pick. And I mean, to be fair, they might be in the same ballpark of what they might be going for. I think this is where I want to take Peter Skoronski, just get offensive line help. Like, this is just great value at this point, too. I mean, to be fair, that might be something similar to what Washington does. Getting a guy that's very flexible, could play at guard immediately, and then maybe move him to tackle once you you feel like you want to release Charles Leno. And what that means for the Raiders is you get a guy that can really play wherever on the offensive line, but you're going to be playing him at tackle. All right, the Atlanta Falcons. Man, the world is my oyster. I'm going to take best player on the board, Brian Brazee. No brainer, pairing him up next to Grady Jarrett just seems like a match made in heaven. All right, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I said I wanted to go quarterback here, right? And I've kind of made my mind up. With Detroit trading up, I feel like I could trade down, right? I really do. I feel like I could trade down just for more value. Maybe we could find someone who is like really wants to go with one of the receivers in this class. And I mean, what they're trading. Okay, maybe someone likes Jackson Smith and Jigba. So maybe a team like, I guess you could say the Packers. Maybe a team like Baltimore wants to make a move for Jordan Addison. I mean, we have seen Baltimore willingness to move around the draft. So the thing is, does Baltimore trade up a lot? I don't know, man. Maybe for this sake, we do it. So, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do Baltimore trading up to get Jordan Addison. Because now I'm the Seahawks, and I'm like, man, I could take Anthony Richardson and feel great about it. Be like, yeah, you ain't got to start right away, but we'll work on you. We'll work on you. All right, I'm looking for the Seattle Seahawks. All right, so let's take a look at trades last year. 2023 or not 2022 NFL trades, because I always like to pull from real world trades that happen. That way, you know, when people want to be like, oh, it never happened, like, oh yeah, well, here it is, suck it. All right, so looking for something similar to 20 to 14. I feel like something like that happened last year. Not seeing one. I mean, guess you can make a case from 11 to 16, third and a fourth. So maybe we turn that to third and a fifth. So, I mean, to be fair, it was a compensation pick, so 82 is actually. I might just offer the third. But I mean, why not? Win in Rome, right? All right, we're now Baltimore Ravens. We're going to go ahead and take Jordan Addison. All right, man. So we're let's got these trades now coming through and taking a little bit longer. All right, Cincinnati Bengals, variety of different spots. I think I'm gonna go with the offensive line. I don't trust the tackles they have in tow right now. We got we got Paris Johnson. We could shoot for the moon on Olu Fashanu, but I think Paris Johnson's just a bit safer right now, so we're going to take him. New England Patriots, straight up, man. Jackson Smith and Jigba just makes too much sense at this pick. It really does. So we got 3 wide receivers going from pick 11 to pick 16, man. What a world. I've been liking the Michael Mayer pick for the Packers with Robert Tonyan being a free agent. Is it Robert? Ron Tonyan? Tonyan's a free agent. And we know the unwillingness for the Packers to take a wide receiver. So they go Michael Mayer, man. They do some good for Aaron Rodgers. All right, actually, I'm kind of really digging this pick right now. With Christian Gonzalez left on the board here, adding him, because obviously Noah Ibignagani ain't worked out for the Dolphins. We have Byron Jones. Sounds like he's going to be a cap casualty at the end of this season. So grabbing someone next to Xavier Howard, move Nick Needham back into the slot. I like this. I really like that a lot. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers legit can do whatever they want. I just assume Tom Brady is going to be playing for the rest of his life. I really do. In that case, corner feels like it should be the move, right? So I guess we're looking at guys like Cam Smith here. We could talk about edge. Like, there's a lot of good edge talent. A lot. So, honestly, Isaiah Foskey kind of feels similar to like a JPP, right? Maybe go with a bit more upside with Felix and UDK. Jared Verse, but Jared Verse is interested. It really is. I feel like those are like the only guys. I could keep scrolling back, but there ain't much. Nolan Smith, I don't think is the right guy for this team. BJ Ojolari, I don't think he fits the size threshold. Andre Carter, I think needs more seasoning, so I think he's gonna fall to like late first or somewhere in the second. So I might go with just the upside, like the high floor of Foskey here. All right, we're back with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's just go ahead, send it, take our quarterback. And honestly, if I'm right now picking between Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. Some of y'all might want to make a case for Hendon Hooker. I guess I can address that right now. I just don't think he's like. I think there's a real shot that teams think about Hendon Hooker at the back end of the first round. But he's a guy that's working in a very vertical scheme where typically where he's gonna go is already predetermined. But he has shown, like, when he has to extend plays or has to go through multiple reads, he can do that. The touch under, like, the accuracy underneath is not that great. He throws at one speed underneath. Balls do kind of sail on him downfield. I think part of that's mechanics and just getting his using his hips more with the hip rotation. Like, there's some real things with Hendon Hooker. I know he's having a great year. He's having a Heisman caliber year. But keep in mind, man, there's also, when it comes to his pro evaluation, like, there are some concerns there. Though Will Levis, for me, it's a bit comparable. Because, like, the decision making's still a bit meh with Will Levis. Do I just say send it with a Hendon Hooker? But, I mean, Will Levis has obviously the bigger upside in terms of the arm. The mechanics are already there. He brings you upside rushing. He just needs to be a better decision maker. Go through his progressions. And we've seen bits and pieces of that Will Levis. Just never through, like, the duration of a whole game. Yeah, I'm going to just say send it, dude. This is about the right value for me. This is when I begin to think of Will Levis in this area, so I'm just going to go ahead and send it. Now we got a quarterback value. And, like, honestly, a guy that I'd have to say, like, you'd think Anthony Richardson, man, but he makes me real nervous. He really does. All right, Jacksonville, I traded back here, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to just send it with Olu Fashanu. I really do think that guy's going to be in the talk of top OT after this season. Indianapolis Colts. Really wish I had quarterback selections here. I don't feel great about taking either of those guys here. I could think of a receiver, maybe Kayshon Boutte, put him in the slot. They don't have a guy that can really separate, though, out of the slot. Edge is actually the first thing that really comes to mind, as we saw Foskey come off the board. So maybe they go with Nolan Smith, man, but you wish you would have better size. He's not ideal, I guess, for this scheme. So maybe lean more on like a BJ Ojolari, Jared Verse. I think Ojolari has been amazing. So is Verse. Like, either of those guys are great here. Let's think about this. I'm gonna go with Ojolari right now. Because, fun fact, Ojolari, man, he reminds me a bit of Yannick Ngakoue. So maybe Gus Bradley be like, "Ooh, I love me that guy. Give me that guy. I really want him." Wide receiver is the first thing that comes to mind for the Tennessee Titans, but I think Kayshon Boutte is very similar to what they currently have in a Treylon Burks. Perhaps he just, yeah. Tackle would be nice, but we're kind of like looking at these like early day two tackles. We could talk about the guard spot. Aaron Brewer hasn't been that good. So maybe we could discuss like Osiris Torrance. Maybe corner. Corner is actually definitely a good spot here. So maybe because Caleb Fairley doesn't, or Fairley, regardless, doesn't look like he's gonna be a long-term answer, man. He's just not the athlete he was as advertised coming out. A lot of that's because of injuries. So we're gonna go ahead and send it with Cam Smith here. I would love to get a separator for the Chargers offensively. We could talk about the defensive interior class a ton. Oh yeah, Tyree Wilson's still on the board. Ooh, that's an interesting thought going forward. But I'm going with Bijan Robinson, dude. That's just a banger pick. Get your actual guy to complement Eckler and then eventually move on from Eckler. All right, so we have the New York Jets here. Like I said, not a lot of tackles available here. We could also consider the offensive interior spots here if they move forward with Elijah Vera Tucker playing tackle. Let's go to the Jets depth chart right now, just so I can take a look at what they got going on, because Nate Herbig's playing good football actually for the Jets. Lincoln Tomlinson has not. Connor McGovern, they might be moving on from him in the future. Well, I say in the future, I think like soon. So it's really like you'd want to say one of the tackle spots. But I think they got the luxury of not want. They don't have to do that. I know some of y'all don't think it's possible that they go with like a Trenton Simpson here, who could legitimately be Fred Warner for this defense. Really can. The safeties also come to mind here. But I think I got I think I got Simpson higher than at least higher than Antonio Johnson and Brian Branch. I think linebacker is too good to pass up. I think we're gonna go with Trent Simpson. Get Saleh his Fred Warner. All right, the Dallas Cowboys. We go a plethora of different spots here. Really can. Let's do a quick. I mean, I honestly, interior might be the go-to here. Osiris Torrance. Keep adding to that. Another Connor McGovern here. I think he's a free agent after the season. Tyler Biotish ain't all that great. Zach Martin. How old are you, Zach Martin? You are 31. So actually, honestly, Zach Martin probably still got some time. But it mainly be for Connor McGovern. I feel like this team wants, like, they do a really good job when they want to run the football. Well, with Tony Pollard. Do they legit only have 2 running backs on the active roster right now? That blows my mind. It really does. Interesting. But I think Osiris Torrance might be the call here. All right, the New York Giants. I feel like Brian Daboll would love an Anthony Richardson. You could talk about Hendon Hooker, but like I think you gamble. I think you roll the dice on Anthony Richardson. I really do. Like Hendon Hooker. I mean, you're just dealing with a younger piece of mold here, piece of clay. Maybe you could bring back Daniel Jones for another year. Maybe they. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Because there's like there's a Lamar Jackson out there, right? There's a wild Lamar Jackson who'll probably get franchise tagged. I mean, there's other stopgap quarterbacks out there though, or as free agents. Let's take a look at. Oh shucks, I messed up. Let's take a look at these 2023 free agents real quick. Okay, I can't type. There we go. Freaking out time, bro. All right, it's obviously Lamar Jackson. Look at the other. Yo, Quentin Nelson hasn't been signed to a long-term deal yet? No way. Yeah. Well, that ain't gonna happen. All right, what is this? After Tom Brady, who's probably gonna resign, and Lamar Jackson, who's probably gonna franchise tag. Don't tell me Baker. I don't want to see Baker. And it's Daniel Jones. Okay, so you'd be most likely bringing back that type of caliber of dude. Jimmy G's also a free agent, so you could get a bridge option, honestly, as while you mold Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker. If you take him, it's like you kind of want him to be the kind of the starter fairly soon. I think I can't deny the upside. This is tough. Maybe for craps and giggles, I go Hendon Hooker, because I don't think I'm touching Hooker till day 2, man. I really don't. Maybe they just bring back Daniel Jones, and they're like, to hell with it, man. But we need to address other aspects of this roster. Man, I don't know if there's anything I really want. I mean, I guess we could go with the offensive interior. You know what? Send it. Let's just go quarterback. Thinking too much about this. All right. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think a real option here, I'm not going to lie to y'all, is Kayshon Boutte. They get a cat that's really good after the catch. I don't know what he's going to test out like in terms of speed. Tackle's been a real problem, but I guess we're reaching at this point. Not really. I mean, Anton Harris and Jalen Duncan are kind of viewed as fringe first rounders by a majority of the community. Cooper Beebe, he's more of a guard. Yeah, I just don't think there's a good spot here. We could always add more cornerback talent. Don't think there's a good fit via cornerback talent. I mean, there's a lot of good players on the defensive line here. Tyree Wilson's kind of their cup of tea. Yeah, but am I gonna have Griffin Dexter higher? It's gonna be interesting. I'll go with Tyree Wilson. Let's do it. Send it. And we got the Minnesota Vikings here. What can we do with this pick? Let's try to wrap this video up quick. I'm not gonna lie. I think Clark Phillips is just such a good scheme fit. I'm gonna go with that one. Buffalo Bills, safety. And actually, Antonio Johnson seems like the more, I would say, I think he feels schematically more so what they would look for. Now we're back here with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. There's a lot of good edge talent here. There's defensive interior talent immense. I feel like y'all kind of addressed that last year. I know y'all got some contracts there, but I think I'd rather go with Jared Verse here. I love Jared Verse. And then we get this extra pick because the Dolphins forfeited their pick. So CJ Stroud. Now, what are we doing if we are the what do we call them? The Carolina Panthers. Brian Burns. Hopefully they're able to keep him. And I think this team's going to go full fire sale. So hopefully they can manage to get a deal, get a contract for him. I say Nolan Smith, actually. Like, they need pass rush opposite, and they were like, Hassan Reddick was really good for the squad. I know that it's going to be a different defensive coordinator. Phil Snow's gone, but I say go with that. All right, let's save this. Let's take a quick look at what we did. All right, so these are our picks. Let me know how you think I did. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed that Hendon Hooker was in the thumbnail and he is not in this mock draft. But if you have watched my quarterback, if you got questions about why, go check out my quarterback rankings. I explain why. if you're not new to the channel, you know I gotta have a little bit of clickbait in that thumbnail. So overall, I'm satisfied. I'm happy with this. I think this is a good looking mock draft. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.